What is going to happen in November of 2023 when Swift, JP Morgan, Citibank, all of these institutions are moving to ISO20022 rich data messaging? Guys, we're going to talk about that and much more in this video. Guys, if you like crypto content, my name is Robert Doyle and I try to provide all the facts and information to help you make better decisions out here in the crypto space. Come along with me during this video. I got a Brad Garlinghouse clip. We're going to talk about Swift moving to ISO as well as other institutions and what that might mean for crypto adoption more broadly. XLM, I'm reading shit backwards. XML ISO 20022 ING timetable, okay? So we know, according to Swift statistics, over 80% of banks plan to use the new ISO format this year. This year, they're gonna use the new ISO format. What does that mean for us? I wish I had that crystal ball or that genie that I could rub to foresee the future, but I don't. All I know is that there's certain crypto assets like your XRPs, like your XLMs, your XTCs, and your quants that are going to be at the top of the list that banks are going to be able to use for instant settlement if they so choose to. Okay, now they can access some of these through their partners like FIS Global, like Finastra, like Volante, right? They can get in and use these assets without going out on the market and directly accessing them. Are they going to? That is the question. You also have SEPA, which is the single euro payments. SEPA. I always forget that last bit. Area. My bad. This is also upgrading in November. Oh, it's already been upgraded, but they're going to go live in November with ISO payments. So I'm very excited to see what is going to come in November. Is it going to be a fabulous Christmas for you and me? I really hope so, but I'm not going to get my hopes up because things have come and gone before and I've been let down. And so I don't set my expectations anywhere now. And so I'll never be left with my head down. FedNow plus blockchain, November 2023. Here you go. FedNow, its new FedNow payment system, the FedWire Fund Service, will be based on ISO 20022, expecting to be fully transitioned by November, right? FedWire is the serious one, okay? Value. FedWire moves $4.2 trillion a day, okay? I don't think this is it. I think this is it, okay? 4.2 trillion. Believe it or not, it's still true. 2022. This is average daily volume of transfers, and this is average daily volume of transfers in the millions. 4.2 millions is 4.2 trillion, okay? So you have FedWire, right? And I know I'm gonna get comments like, oh, Sensei, they've already said they're gonna be using HBAR. They're gonna be using HBAR for micro payments. Those are less than $1. What about the $1 million payment or the $1 billion payment? What are they gonna use for that? It's not gonna be HBAR. So we're gonna have to see how this all plays out, guys, but I'm getting very excited because we weren't at this place this time last year, but we're going to be at this place where these institutions can finally start using cryptocurrency if they so choose to. ISO 2002, along with ISO 24165, November 2023, digital assets, right? Changes to support market evaluation. I'm not going to read this to you. It might put you to sleep. If you want to pause and read it yourself, but it just says, as part of standards release 2022, the securities message category 5 were enhanced so they can cater for digital asset identification, and new token related features were added, including the addition of 30 digital asset currencies, numbers to allow them granularity needed for fractionalization, and the option to use a blockchain wallet address instead of safekeeping account. I'm not going to read the rest of it. If you want to read the rest, please go ahead and do it. But the DTIF, which is the Digital Token Identifier Foundation, we've talked about that at length on this channel. I'm not going to get into it much more, but it's all pointing to November of 2023, guys. It's exciting times. Okay, more of the same, guys, right? Just having more kind of the timelines putting out here. A lot of everyone's talking about November 2023. The end date for all of these institutions to upgrade to ISO, this new rich data messaging, will be November of 2025. But Swift, JP Morgan, Citibank, they're telling all the banks that they deal with, which pretty much all the banks in the world, pretty much, right, to not wait and to upgrade to this new messaging standard sooner rather than later, right? Right now we have all of these several different messaging standards, and Swift sends messages back and forth. Can we debit? Can we credit? This and that. They're all moving to this new system, and what that'll bring for us, I hope it's glory, and I hope it's a lot of money, guys. Let's be honest. That's what we're here to do. We're here to try to foresee what's going to happen in the future with the information that is provided today, right now. And with that information, we're trying to make our bets on what's going to happen. With the completion of the migration to ISO 2002, with major currencies, we expect the majority of cross-border industry to have migrated to the new format by Q3 of 2023. Exciting time to be alive, in my opinion. You also have BBVA collaborates in the first international instant payment pilot led by Iberpay and Swift. Iberpay, Swift, BBVA, and several international banks have successfully completed the first pilot to process in real-time environment instant payments between different currency areas. Their ultimate goal is to improve those international payments involving currency exchange in terms of speed, transparency, cost, availability, and accessibility. You gotta love it. And you hear November of 2028, right? This says Iberpay, the leading Spanish bank, such as BBVA, Santander, and CaixaBank, have carried out the first test, this pioneering service in Europe in anticipation of the official entry into the force on November 28th of the new one-leg out instant credit transfer OCT instant scheme of the European Payments Council, the ECP. And then you have, this is, I don't know why this wasn't highlighted. This is a juicy little comment too here. The objective is to improve these international payments in line with the guidelines of several global bodies such as the G7, the G20, the Financial Stability Board, Basel Bank for International Settlements, which is the BIS, the European Commission, the World Bank, and the International Monetary Fund. All right. And we all know who's been working with all of these parties, right? That's our friends over at Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse. I would love to interview Brad. Brad, if you ever watch my small little channel, please, anytime, any place, you name it, I will be there, sir. All right, let me play this for you. He's discussing, it's a really quick clip, Citibank, Swift, check this out.
3 liquidity banks messages to banks that have liquidity. To some degree, Citibank and HSBC are really the top 2, JPM, those are the top 3 banks. And when you're sending Swift messages, you're sending messages to banks to release liquidity and making sure the debits and credits match. So to some degree, really boil it down, Ripple's competing with the liquidity of Citi and the messaging of Swift, but in one, because we're both messaging and liquidity.
Okay. Somebody like Citibank, guys, is probably never going to go to Ripple and say, hey, we need your services, because they have enough money to build out their own service. They just released their tokens, their digital token. They're building on a private version of Ethereum. They can never use the public version of Ethereum the way Ethereum is, because right now, if you pay a gas fee on Ethereum, you don't know where that money is going, and a bank will never use that counterparty risk. I just did a video that'll come out before this one. Tony McLaughlin tells you exactly why banks won't ever use a public version of Ethereum, and Ethereum won't ever change, right? You're never going to have Vitalik change to what the banks want. But you already have something like XRP and XLM that don't pay gas fees to random miners around the world, right? So what are they going to use? I personally think XRP is at the top of anybody's list. And you're going to want these smaller banks that don't have the money to build out their whole back end want to go to Ripple and say, hey, can we use XRP for instant settlement? Because we really want to save money. We really want to save time. And we really want to get all of that money in those Nostro Vostro accounts so our bank can be healthy and positive and we can give out new loans. We can offer better services. And at the end of the day, if banks want to stay a bank over the next 5 to 10 years, they're going to have to adopt cryptocurrency. Period. End of story. The banks that don't will be the banks that fail. You can quote me on that. All right. This is about Citibank and a regulated liability network. I'm actually going to play this. This is actually a really good clip.
Customers will not need to set up their own digital wallets and will instead be able to access the service through the bank's existing systems. So it is safe to assume that the underlying technology, the underlying infrastructure here is FedNow. It is not clear, but they're telling you that you don't even need to create a separate digital wallet for these tokens.
Okay, real quickly, central banks and our banks have always been connected through since banking was a thing, right? And if central banks are using a certain technology, other banks are going to say, hey, that technology is safe for that central bank. Maybe we should be looking at that technology too. That's the mindset of these bankers, right? And if they want to be using the same platform, whether it's public or private, that these central banks are using, because they all want to be on a similar same system. That's why you have Quant, which is the network of networks, and that's why you have XRP right next to it.
Federal Reserve repeatedly pointed out, and I explained this in detail in my article, banks' customers won't even know that they're using the new instant payment system, FedNow. It is not something that you have control over. It is not something that you can choose to sign up for. It is effectively baked into every single banking transaction from now on. Here's what one of Citigroup's employees, Global Services President Shamir Khalik, commented. This development goes hand in hand with our industry-leading work on the regulated liability network to create interoperable digital asset solutions on a multi-bank basis. But make no mistake, even though this product is being offered to business clients at this time, it means that the infrastructure, the underlying technology has already been created, it's been user tested, and now that it's being launched on a more of a limited scale, it is soon coming to individual bank customers. I'd say that it is safe to assume that it is a matter of time. This is a step in a long process of moving to transferable digital assets, or as Citi refers to them, tokenized deposits.
Tokenized deposits, right? One day you're going to wake up and every dollar that is in banks are going to get tokenized, because that is how you move that value instantly with instant settlement with cryptocurrency. Okay. If the value is not tokenized, you can't really move it at the speed of light. So imagine there's like what, 17 or 19 trillion dollars in deposits just in the United States. Imagine one day you woke up and all that value is tokenized. Where does that value live? Does something like XRP and XLM and Quant capture some of that value? I sure believe so, right? And as we move towards this, it's just going to get more and more exciting.
It seems as though this announcement just came out of nowhere. That's only because the R&D phase, the research and development phase, the creation of these new digital systems, that's not being announced publicly. We're just misinformed. According to Bloomberg, the new offering comes on the heels of Citigroup's participation, along with a unit of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York and global banks, in a months-long test of a regulated liability network which allowed banks to simulate issuing digital money representing their
Let's keep it going. Almost done here. And then this is a Citibank commercial. I'm going to play that for you guys, but check this out. Done with testing, institutions and large organizations are ready to go live 2024, 2025.
Context and most to comment on that.
So I think there's been a big shift in focus from, let's say, experimentation. So it's taken a long time to get out of that experimentation and into thinking about live projects. A lot of our clients now are actually not even bothering to think about experimentation. Like, the experimentation is basically done on a theoretical level, but there's very little POCs going on, especially in the big financial services. What they want to do is they want to get something and put it live and then get the value from it. I think it's been quite good.
All right. I wish that clip was a little bit longer, guys, but hey, that's the video I have for you today. Are institutions ready? In my opinion, yes, they are. We're moving to a new world, a new standard, a new way to move value, and that involves cryptocurrency, and you're not going to be able to do it without it. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you got value, please like and subscribe. If you want more information, guys, there's always Cryptonaires, or you can become a super subscriber, get access to all of my Sensei chats. It's been a hell of a year, and I owe that all to you. It's a real honor and a privilege to learn and grow with you every day, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much.